financial markets and news that could impact you and your money. So, first and foremost, looks like the UK politicians are meeting for a very rare Saturday session. I just thought that was an interesting note as they haven't met since what it was, 1982. It was when the UK and Argentina were actually in a war, which I actually forgot. I don't know, 9 or 10 years old and didn't even know that happened. Anyways, so this is obviously in regards to Brexit. Boris Johnson has made a fourth attempt at proposing, getting the UK out and sort of reestablishing borders and their currency and all of that. Um, the only way this gets done, again, reading the article, is he needs some help from people outside his party. He's about 30 votes short, assuming every member of his party votes for it, which I don't know, given politics in the U.S., I think is unlikely. But uh, the fact that they're going to be meeting on a Saturday, it's the fourth attempt at this. I think there's a general, UK populism to make this happen, and let's hope for a smooth and agreeable exit that is least disruptive as possible. Having the UK sort of stand on its own again out of the euro would be, the European market would be, clearly they want that. So let's hope for as smooth a transition as possible. Since we're talking about that, why don't we talk about the trade war? The big news of the day is it looks like China Vice Premier, I'm going to mispronounce this, so no disrespect intended or meant, Liu He, I'm going to guess, Liu, last name He. Looks like China is equally confident that a substantial step has been made and this phase one will get done, and there's equal interest in getting the bigger deal done. So I find that very, very positive when both sides are essentially saying the same thing. They're both talking about the same timeline, both being still very respectful. This again seems for like the last, what's it been, 10 days, maybe 14 days. No more negativity around the trade war. It's still work to be done, still complicated, still two large economies and egos and all of that working through. But it looks like that is going in the right direction. Looks like Coke, the soda company, has released some solid earnings and growth, and it's interesting. If have you seen these little Coke cans? Instead of the big ones like this, they're like this. Looks like that's been a big hit, right? Less, you still get your fix, but kind of less soda. Also, their zero sugar items are really taking off, so pretty interesting there. Next up is Boeing. Looks like there's some, I don't know, where there's smoke, there's fire, kind of my thinking. This is, again, one reason I'm so happy I don't invest in stocks anymore, right? You have market risk, sector risk, and then company risk. And this one falls squarely on company risk. Again, some of the things you read in the news, if even close to true, are beyond bad. It looks like this is all about something called the MCAS. Basically, it's software for autopilot, I think. And one of the one of the test pilots said it was difficult to control, and actually suggested they remove it from the pilot's manual. That doesn't sound good. So interesting there. Um, Again, where there's smoke, there might be fire, and if true, I think you're going to see some heads roll at Boeing at the most senior levels. You've already seen the CEO stripped of the chairman title. I think I think if any of this is true, that he could be out of his butt by, frankly, by the end of next week if this spirals out of control like it could. He's got to get ahead of it because that's not okay, right? And then last up, looks like Airbnb is going to be diligently trying to prove it's not WeWork. WeWork obviously was accelerating towards an IPO. We've been talking about on this channel a bunch, but again, Airbnb is in full flight to tell you that they're not WeWork. So these numbers were not quote unquote public, but released anyway, which I don't really know what that means. Looks like they had $3 billion of cash on their balance sheet. They've never touched their credit line of, again, $1 billion. However, It looks like losses doubled in Q1, and um, their cash position, while impressive at 3 billion, was down from 3.5 billion. So that's significant. It doesn't take long to blow through $3 billion if you're losing 500 million at a time. So they did kind of try to say that 2019 was a big investment year. Again, I think that's code for we won't burn that much cash in the future. I don't know. But again, I think it'll be interesting to watch Airbnb going forward because they want to go public in early Q1. Because I think they are going to be at least evaluated through a lens of WeWork. And, again, WeWork, as we reported yesterday, could be out of cash by mid-November, which is like 3 weeks away. So I think investors have the right to second guess and be concerned. So I think Airbnb is going to it's going to get reviewed quite significantly. So in the end, pretty good Saturday. We are up early. We're going to be heading down to Fresno for another trip with an investor. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to do another one of these live sessions because yesterday I asked you to think about what would happen if rates were zero for a decade. And I told you I would think about it. So, of course, I'm a man of my word. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to start another live session and answer what I think would happen. And it'll be interesting to see where we agree and disagree. All right, everybody. Take care. Talk to you in a few. Bye.